Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening to wherever you may be in the world. I want to thank you for joining us today, and I want to thank in this year of 2000 or last year of 2019 being the year of the woman. I'm quite honored to be able to be here with some exceptional people and brilliant players. I want to thank Beach Soccer Worldwide and those who came before me, Amarelli, Ross, Bruno, Perry, and Francis, for doing such great jobs. Something to live up to. We all on this panel today had the experience of being in Alanya, Turkey, and as I mentioned, this is going to be quite an honor to be able to look at the World Winners' Cup on the women's division and be able to talk about the experience of being in Alanya, Turkey. So we're going to get our presentation going right now. So today we're going to be looking at the what, the when, the who, the where, and the how. Not necessarily in any of those order, but we're going to start off by saying the who. Today we have a great panel. We have Lele Villar representing Pavia Lokrians. Lele, say hello. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. From WFC Zvezda, we have Anzhelika Alekseeva, excuse me. Did you say hello, Anzhelika? Hello. Fantastic. And from Grembach in Poland, we have Kasia Borowiec. Could you say hello, Kasia?
Hello.
Great to have you. And finally, from the US, we have Ali Hall from NorCal BS Soccer Club.
Hello.
Hello. Now, also joining us today with Kasia is Vitek. He's one of the Polish national team players. He will be translating for her. And we have Ivan, the coach from, actually, we also have Jarek, Jarkoslaw Jaleski, sorry for destroying your name there. He's the coach of Grembach, as well as Ivan, who's the coach of Zvezda and the assistant coach for the Russian national team. He's our stand-in local expert on all things women's beach soccer these days. Ali, I want to start off with you. In regards to this tournament in Alanya, why was this tournament so important for the NorCal Beach Soccer Club to participate?
Well, this is our first international appearance, first of all. So it was such a great experience and such a stepping stone for us as a team. I mean, for us, it's so important because we got to see what the highest level looks like and play against the highest level. And so much experience and knowledge came from that. It's also important because we got to get our name out there, show what the US NorCal can bring to the table as far as women's beach soccer, and that's big time for us. And you know, it helped us set our goals for the future, what our team wants to work on in the future, what type of terms we want to go to, what level we want to compete at. And that ultimately was the biggest thing, is that we got to experience, get a taste of what that competitiveness looks like. And that was very, very important for our team.
Fantastic. And you did definitely get a lot of experience there.
Absolutely.
And also, someone I didn't mention from Beach Soccer Worldwide joining us is also Rafa. He's going to be translating for Lele. And this question is for you, Lele. How did the experience rank compared to your experiences in Nazaré?
Rafa, a primeira, né? Então, foi muito importante e especial, assim como eu estive na primeira Euro, estar presente no primeiro World Winners e ser campeã, porque foi o meu primeiro título internacional. Eu já estive presente em 3 semifinais da Eurowinners e também 3 campeonatos italianos e a indicação do melhor do mundo, mas eu ainda não tinha um título internacional como foi em Alanya no World Winners Game.
So she says it's very important and special to be part of the first World Winners Cup, just like she was in the first Euro Winners Cup. For us that had not won the title outside for Brazil, for her country, coming out with the title in Alanya was exceptional and was the first international title of her career. She has been, and repeat, Letícia, 3 Euro Winners semifinals.
Sim, 3 times diferentes.
By different clubs. She played in 3 Italian championships and winning silver in one of them.
So it was even more exceptional than we had thought originally. Well, that's great. That's beautiful. Anzhelika, what influenced you into playing beach soccer with Zvezda? Because you're a bit of a new player for them. And what about Alanya made it so special for your team?
I play in Zvezda from the beginning and work with Ivan since 2009. But
Okay.
I haven't been in Nazaré, but in my opinion, Alanya was wonderful. It's a splendid place. There were many Russian tourists who support our team like real fans. It was amazing. It's like a home stadium, and several of our girls said that want to play this every time and every match.
Yes, and they wanted to play always there. They said to me, coach, we wanted to play there. We wanted to stay in Turkey.
Yeah, no, I can imagine having played against you guys twice. It was an amazing atmosphere.
Yes.
We did convert a few fans because we have the red jersey and the bear on our jersey, so we had lots of compliments. Kasia, what was your favorite thing about the event in Alanya? What did you enjoy most?
Najbardziej w turnieju w Alanii podobała mi się atmosfera w naszej drużynie, która była bardzo, ale to bardzo rodzinna. Podobało mi się również to, że właśnie na tym turnieju poznałyśmy nasze nowe zawodniczki z Brazylii, Anabę, Lorenę i Noel, które super wkomponowały się w naszą drużynę na boisku, jak również poza nim. Jeżeli chodzi o samą Alanię, podobała mi się przepiękna, szeroka plaża, a pod względem organizacyjnym dobrze przygotowane boiska i ogólna organizacja turnieju.
Well, the best thing she liked in Alanya was the team spirit, which was like family in our group, inside the pitch and the same outside the pitch in the hotels in free time. So they could meet new Brazilian players, like Kasia said. They did a very good job, even if they were new, but they joined the team very well. Good, they were very good playing with them in such a short time of knowing each other. So that was a good time. Instead of the Alanya, and the city was very, very fine, very, very clean. The good organization of the tournament, all the tournament of the stadium. So it's very nice, very nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think we all experienced that all around. As we move forward here, we're going to, and this is a quick view of where we got to play under. It was an amazingly picturesque scene. I'm sure everyone remembers all the ships and the boats and the wonderful people from Alanya that came out and supported the event. It made for very good crowds. As we go into the meat and potatoes of this presentation, what exactly happened in Alanya? So looking quickly at the statistics here, what we're going to be focusing a little bit or highlighting is the fact that, you know, we had 73% of the goals that were scored in open play, which is a very, very high percentage, with the restarts taking up 13% and free kicks taking 14%. It was a scenario where we found a lower percentage, especially on the restarts, which we'll discuss later. But we also had a very high percentage in regards to the amount of passes that led to goals. So moving forward here, Kasia, in the World Winners' Cup, your team scored 3 out of 4 of the throw kick-ins of the entire event. So basically 75% for all teams. Did your team prepare a lot in practice for those sort of restarts to be prepared for Alanya?
Raczej nie. Oczywiście na treningach staramy się ćwiczyć rzuty wolne. Oddajemy mnóstwo strzałów, które staram się, aby były jak najbardziej precyzyjne. Dysponujemy mniejszą siłą uderzenia niż mężczyźni, więc bardziej skupiamy się tutaj nad techniką strzału. Staramy się też uderzać w kierunku bramkarza tak, aby piłka odbiła się tuż przed bramkarzem, żeby zmieniła lot piłki i zaskoczyła bramkarza. Strzelamy z różnych pozycji na boisku. To czyni nasz zespół takim, że jesteśmy nieprzewidywalni i uważam, że trudno się gra przeciwko takiemu przeciwnikowi.
Well, when we have training sessions or camps, we train a lot of shooting, free kicks from different zones of the pitch. Our shots are not so powerful like men shots, but they try to hit the goal directly with not such power like men do. They shots from different situations on the field, so it's make them some about comfortable situation. They mix the shots, so they are very what can I say? They can shoot many different ways on the match, and this is difficult for the other teams to do it.
Fantastic. So much time was put into it. It's good to know. I mean, because it showed in.
They put when we have those training sessions, a lot of time they make a lot of free kicks during the training.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. It showed in the event. Lele, when we compare the average goals per game in Alanya being lower, do you think the possession was higher in this event compared to your experiences in the Euros in Nazaré?
Então, eu acho que eu acabei não citando também na resposta anterior, né, das principais diferenças, como, por exemplo, a Euro já tem uma tradição, né, de 4 anos, e a gente começou com 12 times e hoje temos 24. E o World Winners, como foi ainda a primeira competição, nós tínhamos 5 times. E através dessa diferença que o Rafa vai traduzir, eu vou poder contextualizar e continuar essa resposta.
She doesn't mention in the last question. She in the Euro Winners is consolidated event and open the door for the World Winners Beach Soccer events, no? And jump for the 12 teams in 2016 to 45 in 2019. But World Winners Cup has a just more expressive title, and she believes it will grow like Euro Winners Cup.
Então, respondendo essa pergunta, eu vejo duas maneiras distintas, assim. A primeira é o modo realmente da competição, né, que todos os times tinham chances de chegar à final. Uma vitória colocava um time em primeiro e uma derrota podia colocá-lo em quarto. Então, era uma questão de priorizar a posse de bola, porque quando a gente prioriza a posse de bola, a gente não toma gol, né? E aí, posteriormente, buscar eficiência no ataque. Então, esse é um dos motivos que eu acredito, pela necessidade de ter a posse de bola.
So she thinks that the 5 teams had chance to reaching the final by the last game, but the format of the championship being her view on the reason for that in the World Winners' Cup they have a group match until qualifying the 16 teams. It is as they had more opportunity to make mistake and still more on. It's a longer championship. In Alanya, in a victory or defeat could put in the first or the fourth place. And when they have possession of the ball, they had more control of the game.
Fantastic. And Ali, would you agree with Lele on that? How much of adjustment did NorCal have to make to their own game against the what is considered the best teams in the world at this point?
I mean, we had to make adjustments in every game. I think that's what makes our team so dangerous and strong, is that we're able to make adjustments to every team that we play. And we did that very well. Not saying that we won every game, but we made big adjustments in some games and we executed. And I mean, that's just part of playing competition. But also there's teams that adjusted to us. So within that, it's all kind of on the fly. And I think that's the beauty of the game in general. But of course, you make little adjustments based off those teams. And I think we did a great job doing that. And it's just part of the game.
Fantastic. No, I can't disagree with that at all. Ivan, as the one of us that are here that has been to all the competitions, I have a few questions for you. We're now looking at the international women's competitions comparative, and as we can see in Alanya, we had 73% of the goals that were scored in open play. Why do you think this is such a high percentage comparatively to the other events that you participated in even last year and even the year before?
I think that we have several reasons. I see the several reasons of this. The first, I mean, it's there were strong goalkeepers in all of the teams. Natalia and Anna Bea, very good Brazilian goalkeepers. Our goalkeepers, American goalkeepers, very good. And even Japanese goalkeeper played great despite the large number of goals conceded. And this is the first reason. The second reason for me is that two teams, maybe more, but for me it's two teams, play a possession with the possession. It's Zvezda and Pavia with Brazilians like the combinations like possession. So maybe we see many goals by open play. And the another important reason is that the very good players who traditionally scored a lot of set pieces, such as players from Spain, from England, from Switzerland, not took part in this tournament. We have the Molly Clark as an example, and she scored, but only one goal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good reason for us to be getting more of these teams to Alanya, so we can bring up those spectacular set piece goals. Also, I wanted to ask you, we can see the sharp difference in the goals that were +2 passes, being very positive, but we can also see the restarts. So I know that you just elaborated on that a little bit. You kind of answered both questions in one, but do you think there's any other reason that the restarts, not necessarily the free kicks, but the restarts themselves, the corners and the throw-ins, that also was on a lower percentage comparing to the other events?
As I said, for me, it's maybe because there were no teams and players for which is a strong option. Because for our team, it's not the stronger option. We I think that we in the future have the goals from restarts more and more, but now it's our weak option. So maybe we have few players who did it well. I think it's the main reason.
Yeah, so teams definitely need to spend more time on it in the lead up for preparing, most likely then. All right. So in comparison to the Euro Winners' Cup, the differences are not as large comparing the 80 goals that we analyzed in each competition. But one of the interesting statistics that we're finding was that that we have 58%, as well as in the European competition, were only decided by 1 goal or less. So, and also 50% of the games went into extra time. So the first 4 matches of this tournament were quite exceptional. The first game ended in PKs dramatically. Zvezda scored very late in the game, and then took NorCal all the way to PKs, and their experience won out. Second game also went in the extra time between Pavia and Grembach, which the winning goal we'll see here in a little bit. Third game was decided by a single goal, and even the fourth game went in extra time. So, you know, the tournament started out by everyone being very, very tightly fit. Now, Kasia, from a player's perspective, what did you enjoy about these games being so tight? You know, every game was a close game, it seemed.
Patrząc z mojej perspektywy, podobało mi się to, że grałyśmy dużo meczy w tak krótkim czasie. World Winners Cup jest to turniej, a turniej charakteryzuje się tym, że zawodnik gra w...
Ja trochę zmienię pytanie, bo co sądzisz na temat tego, że te mecze były takie, wiesz, blisko, w sensie takim, że były bardzo wyrównane. Trochę zmienię.
Patrząc z mojej perspektywy, mecze były wyrównane, ponieważ poziom gry był bardzo wysoki. Tutaj, że tak powiem, najważniejszym było przygotowanie fizyczne, za którym u nas odpowiada jeden z najlepszych fizjoterapeutów w Polsce, Daniel Głowacki. On, że tak powiem, przygotował nas bardzo dobrze do tego meczu, do tych meczów wszystkich, więc jeżeli chodzi o kondycję, to bardzo dobrze uważam, wypadłyśmy. Również współpracujemy z Adamem Kwapiszem, który jest ortopedą. Wyjeżdża z nami na nasze mecze i dzięki jego pracy żadna z nas nie odniosła żadnej kontuzji.
Yeah, on her side, yes, the games were very tight because the teams were very good preparation with technical. So also from physical preparations, all teams were very good prepared for this, and this is one of the answers. Every team was very good in preparation physical, so that was one of the things that should make those games very tight and level. From Grembach, the preparation in Grembach team, ladies Grembach, we have one of the best in Poland physiotherapists who prepare, who's responsible for preparation of the girls' physical, and also we have one of the best orthopedic surgeons. They are flying with us to each tournament and prepare the girls very, very good. So they make them very strong. So that's, I think, why the games were so leveled and good-looking games.
Fantastic. So as we move forward, we've gone through a couple of the W's of the who's and the what's, and now we're going to get into the where's. The where's is always a really interesting piece because it's how teams are scoring, where they're coming from. It, in many cases, goes into the tactics. And what we're going to look at to start off with is from an analysis of the goals. We had 3% being scored from zone 1, which is a decent it's a decent number. 10% from zone 2 is also great. And you know, as you would imagine, the closer you get the goal, the higher the percentages go, until with being 46% in the final zone. Now looking at this, the goal difference, it's interesting because at the end of the day, you would think this was the standings of the finals of the event, because this is the order in which the teams finished. Now, looking at this, and Anzhelika, in your first game, you faced an unknown team from the United States, which you scored on late, and your experience rung out in being able to take us all the way, you know, to the PKs and have that ability to finish it off. The question I have for you is, a team coming from the US, which isn't really known for beach soccer at this moment, did they surprise you in the way that they played against you?
Yes, we didn't expect such pressure. We had only few information about our opponents, NorCal, and most of our girls just have returned from World Beach Games and were so tired. That's why the first match was very complicated for us.
Fine, that's a good answer. Lele, do you feel the NOC games that she just spoke of in Dubai was the weekend before? Do you think that was an advantage for Pavia? Because you had 5 players that competed together the week before, and then now we're joining, you know, your Italian team?
Acredito que foi uma vantagem, sim, com certeza. Mas não só a vantagem, como acho que a escolha do Pavia, sem modéstia perante as grandes atletas que somos realmente, foi muito boa, assim, né, de ter levado as 2 goleiras. Infelizmente, o contratempo da nova regra da Letícia não atuar, mas levou as 2 goleiras e as 3 jogadoras de linha, né? Eu, a Bárbara e a Dani, que, assim, somos referências mesmo, né, assim, no Brasil e fora. Então, eu acho que foi tudo somado para dar certo, né? Tá sendo o último campeonato de beach soccer do ano, então a gente teve muitos jogos no ano passado, ritmo de jogo, e acabando chegando lá, jogamos com 6 jogadoras de linha. Então, por mais que nós sejamos boas jogadoras, né, e conseguimos fazer a diferença ali, viemos da seleção do Brasil, foi muito superação também, a nossa palavra, assim como dito, né, muitos jogos chegando no extra time, no tempo, na prorrogação, um equilíbrio até o final do campeonato entre quais times vão fazer as finais. Então a gente tinha que se superar. Os 2 primeiros jogos contra o Grembach e contra o Zvezda foi para prorrogação, né? Nós saímos muito cansadas, então a gente percebeu também que tinha que haver um pouco mais de eficiência nos chutes, na hora de atacar, porque quando a gente levava o jogo também para o terceiro tempo, sem uma vantagem, esse jogo ficava perigoso e podia nos deixar de fora da final.
So, let's again summing up her return. She believes on it, what was the main advantage, but not only because we competed in Doha, but also because she believes in individual power of Brazilian players that Pavia hired to play in World Winners Cup, okay? And in the other part of speech, Lele speak about Letícia Lopes could not play due to the regulation of Euro Winners Cup. So she played with 6 players only in Pavia Lokrians, okay? They took the first 2 games to extra time against Grembach, and the other is
Zvezda.
Zvezda, no? It's Zvezda.
Sim.
They had very tired, exhausted after this match. Okay. What more? She saw.
E aí depois,
Speak.
e aí depois disso a gente percebeu, né, a questão de tentar ser mais eficiente no início do jogo para não ter esse desgaste e colocar em risco a nossa chegada na final. E aí juntou, né, o fato de ser o último campeonato também do ano, da gente vir de ritmo de jogo, né, jogando junto à Euro, a seleção, então é tudo isso.
Okay. So she played the last competition of the year with the other Brazilian players. So join the quality and this the group player to win the championship in Alanya.
Fantastic. Yeah, they were exceptional to watch. Looking at this, we can see, as we spoke about, it kind of laid out in the way that the teams finished. My question is to Kasia. In your final group game, in the final game of your round robin, you face Zvezda, and who is the #1 team in the world. And overall in all competitions, you had scored 3 more goals than them, but they had given up 3 less goals than you. Do you think it has something to do with the fact that the goals were more important than the score because the average was so much lower in regards to how many goals were scored per game? Do you think that gave you the angle of being able to get past them in the end?
To był bardzo wyrównany mecz. Tu nie można powiedzieć, że któraś drużyna była lepsza lub gorsza, że któraś z drużyn miała więcej okazji do strzelenia większej ilości bramek. Po obejrzeniu tego materiału naszego meczu jeszcze raz mogę powiedzieć, że nasza drużyna bardzo dobrze zagrała ten mecz pod względem taktycznym. W podstawowym czasie gry wynik był 1-1. To świadczy, że ani jedna, ani druga drużyna nie nastawiła się na zabezpieczenie własnej bramki. W dodatkowym czasie gry najważniejszym elementem było przygotowanie fizyczne. Czułyśmy, że to my w tym elemencie uzyskujemy przewagę. To jednak nie wystarczyło. Zvezda to bardzo dobry i bardzo doświadczony zespół. Rzuty karne to już loteria i to my w ogólnym rozrachunku miałyśmy więcej szczęścia. Myślę, że to był jeden z najlepszych meczów w tym turnieju.
She said that the game with Zvezda was very level. She can say that one of the teams, Grembach or Zvezda, was better. So he can say that also Grembach and Zvezda didn't have more opportunities to score goals, or Grembach or Zvezda. So it was equal. In this game, the physical preparation was the main thing that the game finished 1-1 in regular time. And extra time is finished. The penalties is a big. You don't know what is gonna happen in penalties. So it's like.
So true.
Which team saved more power win that game? It was a game tactically well done to Grembach and Zvezda. So little things decided that the Grembach win this game and passed Zvezda.
And so then my question goes to Anzhelika. As we know, you obviously had most of your players playing in Doha the week before. 4 of your 5 matches ended up going to extra time. We definitely know that had an impact on you, but in the end, what do you think was more difficult to deal with, or what was more difficult to deal with, the physical fatigue of your players, or the mental fatigue of having competed in the ANOC games and then having so many close battles that you always had to go to the extra time?
As I said before, most of our players were exhausted after Qatar, and of course the mental fatigue influenced too. But I think the main reasons were the strong and unknown opponents.
Yeah, fantastic. No, it was quite an experience to be able to watch all these games so tight, and as Ivan was discussing yesterday, how everyone battled so decisively against each other. It made the event so exciting. Now looking at this chart that everyone's been staring at here for the last few minutes, we see that there's a significant difference with Pavia in regards to the distance at which they're scoring. Lele, this is a question to you. Do you think that this chart proves that you had the best shooters from long distance, and why was that important in this game for you, tactically and technically?
Então, eu tenho que citar aqui a nossa referência, né, internacional mesmo, de chute de longa distância, que é a Bárbara Colodetti, e ela estava no Pavia. Então, acredito que esse jogo que a gente faz com a goleira, com a Nathalie, jogando com os pés ali também, porque era uma maneira da gente descansar e ter a bola nos pés, obriga ao time adversário ter que escolher qual zona ele vai preferir marcar, né? E aí vai ficar livre à frente, na parte da frente, ou na parte do ataque ou da defesa. E sendo a Bárbara uma exímia chutadora de longa distância, assim como quando a falta é técnica, né, e ela pode bater também, ela é escolhida, e ela e a Dani realmente fazem o gol ali do meio de campo, em algumas situações elas marcam bem. Eu acho que o Pavia conseguiu ter esses gols de longa distância assim, maior com relação aos outros times, por conta da característica das jogadoras e principalmente da Bárbara, que tem esse como um ponto forte dela mesmo. É o início, pode ir, Rafa.
She said especially because they had Barbara at Pavia, who is an international reference in the long distance kick. So we also had a goalkeeper who played with her feet, increase and goals opportunities with herself, rebounds and corners, no? She and Barbara and Danielle usually score goals in the long distance. Okay? And this characteristic was so important in World Winners Cup, considering the goals come in the attack and defense zones. The fact that our goalkeeper lives in the game makes the opposing defense choose and space and open another space, no? Is this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah, so basically by them being able to shoot from longer distance, it was able to open up more space for them to create goals that were in closer zones as well. So teams had to step out to challenge. Is that?
Yeah, using goalkeeper to do this, to open space on the pitch.
Fantastic. Yeah, it was actually, that was seen from a lot of the teams. I think as it was alluded to earlier, many of the goalkeepers played with their feet in this tournament. It made it, it actually, I felt it really changed the game. Anzhelika, looking at your statistics here, you're the only team that scored double figures in zone 3. Now, that's double the amount that you scored in zone 4. Now, is this by design that you're looking to score from a further distance?
Yes, it's our style of play. We try to do that after combination. Our players involving goalkeeper and get space and opportunity to shoot from zone 3. We scored a few goals from zone 4 because our forwards were tired after Qatar. Yes, and usually we scored a lot of from zone 2 because our goalkeepers play fit well and scored a lot. But in this tournament, we scored just one goal from zone 2.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what Ivan was saying earlier, where the goalkeepers were so good that goalkeepers shooting had a lot harder time actually finding the back of the net because of the good defense of the keepers. It made for very interesting scenarios. So going forward here, since I had to analyze every goal in the tournament, I decided to plot them. Now, many times when you look at something like this, you're only looking at one team to kind of try and find out the tendencies of what a team is doing on the field by where they shoot. After a time, you start to find patterns. This clearly has several patterns in it. And one of the patterns that I noticed, having being involved with the team, was that looking at this, NorCal scored many goals in zone 4 on the right side, but when they got into zone 3 or even in the zone 2, the goals were coming from the left side. Now, Ali, my question as a coach, for many years yourself, what does this possibly tell you about what was going on with the NorCal team?
Well, I think it kind of shows that we're primarily a right-footed team, and this is kind of why you see us being more dangerous from the left zone, because we're able to go to our right foot to the open field. So when we took our shots from the left side, longer distance shots, we had success. And then when we were able to finish in the right upper zone, it was because we were able to play those crosses in from that left side with our right foot. I mean, obviously all teams are going to do what their strengths are, but I think we'll continue to be developing on all aspects of the field. But I think from a coaching standpoint, that's what I would take from that.
I think that's a very good answer. And Kasia, you had a very balanced attack. You had 9 goals in zone 4. You had 9 goals in zone 3. Those goals were spread out on the left side, the right side, the center. Plus, you even had a couple goals in zone 2 and a goal scored from zone 1. Do you think this balanced attack helped Grembach be a little bit more unpredictable in opening space, giving you that better opportunity of getting to the final?
Czy uważasz, że ta nieprzewidywalność i strzelanie z różnych stref boiska, które są, czy ten zespół tak nieprzewidywalny, że pomogło nam to przejść aż do finału?
Tak jak powiedziałam we wcześniejszych wypowiedziach, nasza drużyna strzela bramki z różnych pozycji na boisku, co czyni nasz zespół groźnym i nieprzewidywalnym, więc ciężko przeciwnikowi zastosować jakąś jednobrzmiącą taktykę wobec nas. W naszej drużynie mamy wszechstronnie uzdolnione zawodniczki, które mają słabsze i lepsze strony. Mamy również równe warunki fizyczne. Dla jednej domeną jest wzrost, dla drugiej siła, szybkość, jeszcze dla innej technika czy doświadczenie. Każda z nas jest inna i dzięki temu trener może dostosowywać zawodniczki do danej sytuacji na boisku, co, że tak powiem, robi. Gdy obrońca na przykład drużyny przeciwnej już zobaczył, jak gramy, dokonuje od razu zmian na boisku, co jest zaskoczeniem dla drużyny przeciwnika. Na pewno taka taktyka i gra pomogła nam w sukcesie dojścia do tego meczu finałowego. Mamy sporą kadrę, więc nasz trener też ma możliwość wybrania odpowiednich zawodniczek na dany turniej dobiera w taki sposób zawodniczki, aby gra opierała się na jednym lub wielu charakterystykach.
Well, the thing is that Grembach have good players. That we have small players, higher players. We have goalkeepers who play well with the foot. We can change a lot of things. So if somebody is playing with Grembach in one tactic, can be hurt by Grembach, because during the game we change a lot. Our coach Jarek sees many things. He changes things. He can play this tactic, that tactic. He changes. So that's why that helped us to score goals from different zones. Our players are very universal, so they can change positions a lot. So I think that's the reason why Grembach is so universal in scoring goals on the pitch during the game.
That's great insight. It's great insight. Okay, well, moving forward here, we are looking now at the number of passes before goals. Now, when we're looking at this, I also want to let people know that the single pass at 35%, now that also includes 12 restarts, including 2 kickoffs, 4 corners, and 4 throw-ins that were scored in the tournament. If you were to eliminate the restarts, then clearly the status of possession would increase considerably. But since this is part of what we do with beach soccer, it kind of explains to the person that doesn't know that this is why so many goals are scored in that one pass category, and we see a higher percentage normally in any case. Many of the 18% of the zero passes were steals, teams recovering balls off of other players and then finishing past the goalkeepers. Now, as we move forward here, this is a comparison between the Euro winners and the World Winners' Cup. Again, going back to possession as a major theme, you have for the most part that there were many goals scored with excessive possession, including one we will show here shortly by Pavia against Grembach in their first encounter on day 1. It went to over extra time, and Pavia was actually able to swing or strung 14 passes together before scoring the winning goal in extra time. My question right now is going back to you, Ivan, as our resident expert on the multitudes of events going on in Europe for women now. What does this tell you about the competition and the style of play that was developed, not just in this tournament, but throughout the year? Did you see an improvement in the way that all the women's teams competed from the first women's event up to Alanya, which ended up being the last women's event?
Yeah, in the last year, we see that women beach soccer is starting to take a lot of from men's beach soccer. I think it's a new trend. There are more teams who try to play through the goalkeeper with the feet. It's a new trend, and I think in the future we see the more teams who play with the goalkeeper with the feet. And number of goals from set pieces, I think, is growing. All the World Winners' Cup doesn't show this, but I think it's new trend in the future. And I can see the teams who play with more passes, with more combination, try to play with more passes. I think it's a new trend for women beach soccer, when the teams like to play with possession, like to play with more passes, and the last year showed this trend.
No, that's fantastic. So we can probably expect more of that in the future as the game develops. I think a lot of it will come down to the essence of beach soccer worldwide, continuing to push the women's game and expanding the opportunity for more events. At the end of the day, the more they get to play, the better the level of play will get when they're able to compete against others. I know from our standpoint in California, our best players don't have a chance to play against other competition besides themselves, so it can become very dry. That's the great bonus in Europe with all of you being able to train and more extensively in a club situation, which we don't have, and also being able to face on a more regular basis competition in neighboring countries and such. What we're going to show here is a few examples. This goal here was a goal scored by Lele. As you can see, it started with the keeper, and it comes back to Barbara, and they're moving the ball around quite nicely. And the shot gets taken, and the vulture is there, and she's in the right place at the right time, framing the goalpost, as all my players here, and scored a brilliant goal, showing the possession. Everyone making the right runs, keeping the space, and just there, right there to poke it in to finish. This next goal that we're showing is pretty amazing, because there's not too many days that you see something like this. Again, this is Pavia. They go from the goalkeeper. They're already 3 passes in. This ends up being a total of 14 passes. Now, we don't see this in beach soccer very often, but what makes this goal even more special is that it was already in extra time. So instead of feeling the pressure, they held on, they waited for their opportunities, and they created space. And who knows? I mean, I'm not going to speak for it, but in situations like this, many times you can lull a team's defense to sleep, waiting for the opportunity. And here they take it. Granted, there's a bit of a mistake coming, but you know, at the end of the day, like I said, you can take a team and put them to sleep, and all of a sudden mistakes will be made and you have a finish. Now, moving forward, different ways on how goals were scored. We're looking at a scenario of open play versus set piece goals. Now, in this situation, normally in grass soccer, which we all know and love, and we all can't deny that. We all love beach soccer more, obviously, but in grass soccer, there's an average of set pieces or dead ball situations, as we say, of about 33 to 35 and sometimes even higher percent of goals being scored from these dead ball situations. In this event, we had only 27%. Looking at other events as well, even sometimes on the men's side, it's about that percentage. So why is it that with beach soccer, in a smaller space, with situational play like basketball, for another international sport, but unlike basketball, unless your name is Stephen Curry, you can score from anywhere on the field, no matter whether you're a male or female. And we'll see examples of the females scoring from zone 1 here shortly. But if that's the case, where you can shoot from anywhere, I mean, half field, let's be real, half field is only 2 yards or 2 meters longer than the penalty box. There's nobody on any team that can't shoot from that distance. So why is it? Anzhelika, you're the first one I want to ask this. Shouldn't this percentage be higher across all genders and competitions? You know, this question is actually to you and Ivan. Ivan spoke to it a little bit earlier.
There are several reasons for this percentage on this competition. First of all, I think in the World Winners' Cup played one of the best goalkeepers in women beach soccer. And secondly, the women shoot free kicks not like a man. But in my opinion, in the future, women beach soccer will reach a new level. And I think we need a lot of practice and trainings, and we will shoot better.
Ivan, do you want to elaborate on that? Do you believe that teams need to take a bigger advantage of the situation?
Yeah, I think that my team don't fully used this opportunity to score, and I promise that in the near future, the number of the goals from set pieces for our team is increasing. So I think that it's a future trend, and we try to score a lot of and try to train hard for set pieces situation.
So you're telling us we have more to worry about from the #1 team in the world in the future.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. That's a message to all the teams out there watching. You know, they're putting a target on their back. Kasia, having played in the Euro Winners' Cup and in Alanya, does it surprise you that more goals weren't converted, considering the level of play and the style of play in Alanya? Do you feel that? Are you surprised by the lower average of goals that were scored?
Porównując mecz Eurowiners na Alanię z tą ilość bramek, która różni się między jedną a drugą, to zaskakuje.
Powiem szczerze, że w mojej opinii wynika to może z poziomu też gry, oraz częstotliwości tej gry, która była. Uważam, że World Winners Cup było ciut na wyższym poziomie niż Euro Winners Cup, stąd może wynikać ta różnica bramek, a także z tego, że było to pierwsza edycja World Winners Cup i każdy zespół grał troszeczkę z zachowaniem tej obrony własnej bramki, dlatego też nie było takiego ataku opozycyjnego.
Well, that depends because when you play the tournaments like this, there's a lot happening on the field. So the difference between those goals are there is not such a big thing because every game is different. So the tactics depends of how the goals are going in. So every statistic can change in every game, in every tournament.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good answer. Ali, you know, as we look at the grid here with the open play versus set pieces by each team, do you think NorCal came away with an understanding of the importance of set pieces? Do you think it will change the approach your team takes the next time when you're facing this top level international competition?
I think in general, I think trend keeps getting said out there. It's just part of the game are these restarts. That's a huge part of the game. We're on a small field. It's massively important to be able to capitalize on these things, whether it be on the side of taking a free kick or a throw-in, or being on the other side, right? Being quick to defend, being able to organize quickly to see that this is a moment, a precious moment within this game that we need to get organized. And on the flip side, being able to strategize with your team within a moment in this time where you can score a goal, because from anywhere on the field, we all know we can score. Such a small field, it's not a trend of it. This is what beach soccer is. It's a huge part. It's the evolution of what we are creating and becoming better at. And those little moments are they end up being the moments of the game. When we played Zvezda, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? We were up 2-0, and then we had, thank you. And then they had, one free kicks, and they won the game within second. Like, we had seconds left on the clock. It's so important for all the teams to get better at these things and to recognize how important those little moments in the game are when it comes down to it. Just is what it is. So in the future for NorCal, absolutely, we will be capitalizing on those things, being way more organized, being able to get together more, because we obviously are all over our state. But we will absolutely be focusing on that a lot, because those little moments define the game at the end of the day.
Thank you. I think that put it well. You know, personally, I'm a firm believer I've been coaching on the women's side since my first team I coached. I was 18 years old. I'm now 47. Behold it. But I'm a firm believer that, you know, in the women's game, that they can do almost anything that the men can do. It's not a matter of talking about the speed of it, because traditionally, whether we're talking grass, you know, the women's game may move slower, but tactically, in many cases, it's much more astute. It's much better in regards to the way that women play, more methodically and less direct. And, you know, one of the things I really liked is that in this game of beach soccer, they do have the capacity of, maybe it doesn't look as exciting or thrilling. To me, it still does. But whether it's a bike kick or a free kick from long range, you know, the women really bring something to the field or to the pitch. And in this event, it was clearly shown that women can hit free kicks. This is Molly Clark, you know, English national team playing with Zvezda, sorry. You did better than me, Ali. And this is to bring the game even. Less than 2 minutes left. This is like one of the things that Ali was just talking about. You know, pressure's on, the kick's being shot from just about, you know, half field, and she buries it in the side netting. I mean, it's an exceptional shot by a true international and one of the best in the game. But this is the sort of thing that, you know, when we look at it, it's not going to go that much faster from a man in that case, and it can't be placed much better. You know, another instance is, this was Pavia. This is Barbara, who Lele was talking about earlier. This is zone 1, and just ripping it off the crossbar. You know, you can't do much better than that. A goalkeeper, you know, unless they're extremely tall and can get at it, and they're not standing off their line, they're not going to get to it. And the final example we're going to show today, as we wait for the video, one more click here, is Lorena Medeiros. You know, also, you know, this is zone 1. One thing I would like to mention about Barbara Coloretti, she was our tournament MVP of this event, and I look at her as like the female version of like the men's grade legend Ozu. I don't think she almost ever left the field the entire tournament at the World Winners' Cup. She played 5 matches. She crushed that long free kick. She scored, every goal she scored was different. It was amazing to watch her. She's definitely a player for everyone to keep their eye on. And here's Lorena again, just shooting from distance and driving it up or corner. Now I don't.
Coach, excuse me.
Yes.
Because this is Noelle Bastos, not Lorena Medeiros. This player, it's Noelle Bastos.
Oh, it's Noelle Bastos. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
No.
then it was recorded wrong, I guess. My bad. But in any case, I just took what was on the paper when I looked at it. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't worry. This game, it's wrong in the name of the goal. Not problem. Not you.
Okay, fair enough.
Everybody.
Well, thank you for letting us know and letting everyone know that I didn't read it incorrectly. But again, it was an amazing goal. You know, now we're really going to kind of get into the part of the more important part, I think. I mean, granted, the statistics and what we went through as players and coaches was all very important in this event. But again, we're talking about like 2019. You know, it was declared the year of the woman for beach soccer worldwide. I think they did a very good job. I think they clearly proved that was the case by there being more female competitions than any 2 years combined previously. The World Winners' Cup in Alanya was not only an amazing event and experience, but it laid the groundwork to taking those first steps towards a world club ranking, which, you know, at this point we can take a look at. So this is the current world club ranking of all teams in, well, the world. Now, one of the things that I want to mention here is that there's 41 teams that are currently ranked in the world, and 39 of them are from Europe. So this event is something that all of you players, all you women out there that are playing on teams or aspiring to play at a higher level, this is the opportunity for you to get your club's name out there, to put them in the stamp and to see how you grade yourselves. My question goes to Kasia. At the moment, you have the third ranked best team in the world representing Poland. Now, I understand that at this point, Poland itself does not have a national team. Do you hope and do you believe that if Grembach is able to continue to have such great results, that you will inspire the Polish Federation to push forward and have your women represent your country in world competitions?
Tak, mam nadzieję, że powstanie reprezentacja Polski, natomiast tę nadzieję mam już od kilku lat. Niestety jest to smutne i niezrozumiałe dla nas, dlaczego przez taki okres czasu nie ma tej reprezentacji w Polsce. Mamy u nas w kraju bardzo wiele zawodniczek, które są naprawdę bardzo dobre technicznie i fizycznie, które grają w beach soccera i które byłyby dobrze by reprezentowały Polskę na turniejach na całym świecie. Od kilku lat słyszymy od naszego Polskiego Związku Piłki Nożnej same obietnice, które niestety nie są spełniane do chwili obecnej. Słyszymy często, że nie ma turniejów w Europie, na które mogłybyśmy pojechać, co jest nieprawdą. Wydaje mi się, że BSWW powinno coś zrobić w tym kierunku, ewentualnie może zwrócić się do naszej federacji o to, aby utworzyć tą reprezentację Polski. Wydaje mi się, że takie działania powinny właśnie wyjść ze strony BSWW. Uważam także, że zwiększenie tych drużyn kobiecych w poszczególnych turniejach byłoby dobrą kartą przetargową w rozmowach o dołączeniu beach soccera do Igrzysk Olimpijskich. To taka moja mała sugestia.
Yeah, we are the third team in the world right now, but Poland doesn't have national team of women. It's a shame for us a little bit. Grembach is trying to speak with the president of the national team of soccer, so to make beach soccer team of women, but we only heard promises from them, from the president. We hope that Grembach and the success that this team have on the European and also world arenas of beach soccer will help them to make this happen. But we are fighting 4 years or more to do it. It's a shame because Poland and the Polish League of beach soccer have many girls that like to play beach soccer. They know how to play beach soccer and they are very good at it. So we hope so that Grembach will still play as good as now, and we will help the president to make that choice to make a Polish team of national team women. And we think also that maybe BSWW can help a little bit push them to do it. So yeah, we are the third team in the world of Europe. I think we are going to still play in the Euro Beach Soccer League and every finals we can get in and go on in this tournaments, play and show our president that we can do it very well.
Well, I'm sure Beach Soccer Worldwide will be behind that and push as they can.
We hope
And-
so, because it's like 4 years we are talking with them and showing our results, our girls in tournaments in Polish league, and they see it's a very good thing. They like to do it, but it ends at talking only. And I think a little help will be good.
Yeah. So Yvonne, I think this story sounds somewhat familiar for you. I believe you shared with me that this is a similar experience that the Russian team went through as well. Am I
Yes,
correct?
I have the special story for Kasia, for Poland, and maybe for Italy, who didn't have a women national team. We didn't participate. Russia didn't participate in the first tournament, Euro Beach Soccer Cup, and in the second tournament. And I asked Russian Football Union why we didn't play, and no answer for me. And only after our club Zvezda won the Women Euro Winners' Cup, they said, "Oh, amazing! We're creating a national team now." And we won the first tournament when we play, and after we convinced everyone in Russian Football Union that it was the right decision. And I think that's a good example for Poland, for Italy, and for another nations who have very good clubs.
So it is a scenario where, once again, all those clubs around the world who are begging for a national team. And here's a tournament that you can go and face the best teams in the world, line yourself up against them, and show your federations we can compete at this level. We can represent our flag. It's a kind of a no-brainer. Anzhelika, I do have a question for you. I understand you're in the pool for the national team. Do you think this experience in Alanya has given you even greater motivation to try and break into the first team and be able to wear your country's flag on your jersey?
Of course, it gave me more motivation, and I understand that to be in the pool is just the first step, and I need to work harder every day to break into the team. And I hope that in the future I can play in the shot of the national team. It's my goal.
Fantastic. I hope the best for you. You had a great tournament. I had to watch you with disdain the whole time as you guys got past us both those instances, and your defense was great. Ali, just recently we obviously got a national team as well, and obviously that's a great honor for the girls that have been able to. We know that you're definitely in the pool for the national team, and that is something I know that's very important to you, to be able to make it to that level. But going back to this event, what was the biggest or most important thing that you learned and took away from your experience in Alanya?
Well, we got to see the future of women's beach soccer, which is huge and big time, seeing the competition and seeing what that level looks like. And as it continues to grow in the US and just internationally in general, and the appreciation for the sport, and seeing on the women's side how successful and entertaining and awesome it is, I mean, it's just going to continue to take off. So what I took from it is just seeing where it can be. And the more that we see the potential of this sport, the more women are going to be working their butts off to get to a higher level. And we're going to continue to just rise and play and make each other better within that. And so taking out of it just made me want to work 10 times harder, seeing what that higher level looks like with people who have more experience. And just continue that, growing that level. And also I take out of it that NorCal is going to, I just have to add, NorCal will come back stronger than ever after that experience, because as you see, we are a team that developed throughout the entire tournament within every game. And now seeing where it's at and where that competition is, we will be back and we're ready. We're going to be ready to go to kick some butt again.
Fantastic. Lele, now you're obviously pictured here, and I wanted to bring up a moment for you in this tournament. You scored the decisive and winning goal in the final to take Pavia to the ultimate victory in a very, very close match with Grembach. You obviously explained earlier in the session that this was the first time that you've ever been able to win a title. With that, even as a greater perspective, where does this stand on your list of accomplishments in your very young yet already successful career?
Então, na verdade, foi o título mais especial mesmo, assim, da minha carreira, por todo o contexto. Ter chegado ali naquela final, poder jogá-la, era uma sensação, assim, de que ninguém tiraria aquele título da gente, né? A gente veio de um momento excepcional, a primeira seleção brasileira e o bronze no Catar, e tendo a oportunidade de ali naquele momento agora estar fazendo a final do World Winners. E foram dias assim particularmente difíceis para mim, porque veio a convocação da seleção para o Sul-Americano e eu fiquei de fora. Eu não fui convocado novamente para defender o Brasil. E isso, dentro de uma competição de tão alto nível, me impactou bastante. Eu fiquei 2 dias chateadas mesmo, assim, né, lá na Turquia, sem entender o porquê. A Letícia e a Bárbara do meu quarto receberam a convocação e eu não recebi nenhuma ligação perante a isso. Então, quando a gente chegou na final ali, era uma vitória muito pessoal minha também, de poder voltar para casa e não para o Paraguai, com a medalha de ouro, porque foi um impacto, assim, que, né, é lógico que tem milhares de atletas que podem defender o país e vão defender, mas ao meu ver, assim, né, naquele ponto, disputando o World Winner, chegando à final, eu me senti bem baqueada, mas como acho que todo grande atleta, né, a gente pega o desafio e transforma em motivação. E isso me fez fazer 2 gols, participar dos outros 2 gols, e a gente saiu campeão, foi muito bom.
So she says the best and the biggest victory of her life. She has a feeling that no one would take that title from them. She thinks it was one of the best games she has played so far. Is this, huh? She was going through one of the most difficult moments too. She was not being nominated for the Brazilian team in South American Games in Paraguay, no?
Yes.
After bronze, and continues to play in very high level competition, which was in Alanya, okay? She was upset for 2 days, but like every athlete, it also served as a motivate. And that was how she grabbed an opportunity to be in World Winners Cup Championship, even though she has to go home and not go to Paraguay with her teammate to defend Brazil in Paraguay. So that's how it's final, and the World Winners mark her career so far.
Well, that's fantastic. It was brilliant to watch you.
Sorry.
Yes.
She told me about she scored 2 goals and gave the pass to Barbara on the last match in the final.
Well, it seems that Brazil could have used her in South America. So as we look at this, the World Winners Cup, as mentioned, gave us the first ever world rankings for women's club soccer. And as I mentioned obviously earlier as well, 39 of those teams are European, and obviously we want to see that change. You know, one last question for you, Ivan. I mean, do you believe that this ranking will actually inspire more women's teams to compete internationally that may not have had access? Because before, the only international women's competitions were Euros. This is now an international event. So do you think this is going to drive teams from all over?
First of all, I'm very glad that we see not only the European teams. I think that it's in the future, if we see the more and more teams from North America, from Asia, from Africa, maybe, for example, it's a very good. But the ranking is more important for comparing all the teams and for me, understanding where you are in the world. I think it's very interesting. But if for some teams, for some new teams, it's a challenge to be in the world ranking, to be maybe higher in world ranking, it's a good. I hope that in now in such difficult times, I think that we have maybe some financial problems in some teams, but I hope that we have the more and more teams and the number of teams are still growing in the future.
No, I can't disagree with that. I mean, this Alanya was just another step by BSWW, you know, growing the game at all levels for us. And, you know, they will, we know, but they're going to continue to push the barriers for clubs, and as in with Grembach, and as they did in the US to get the US national team, and help break down these barriers with the ultimate goal, as we all want and see, eventually being, you know, the Olympics and, or, you know, in a shorter term, the more accessible Women's World Cup. You know, obviously at this moment in time with COVID-19, I think everyone's plans are being put back a little bit. I think that it's a scenario that everyone's got to kind of reevaluate. And as you were saying, Ivan, I think a lot of teams are, you know, especially this year, maybe struggling a little bit more financially than they have in the past. But for now, all you teams out there, you know, I'm talking to you, Antioquia in Colombia, you know, the teams in China, Japan, you know, hey, Elite in the Bahamas, you know, you teams in all in Africa, you all have your female teams. You're all, you know, been in contact with me about playing in events, even in the United States. Even with the events that I do, and I would love to have you at, this is the event. You know, World Winners Cup, this is the event where everyone can put their stamp down. This photo that we're looking at right now was a representation. It's extremely misogynist, not in a negative way, but we need to see more women in this photo because the women's game needs to grow, and you know we can do it in such an elegant and beautiful way. So to all of you teams out there, you know, waiting for the international events to come your way, you know, be patient. Beach Soccer Worldwide, we know is trying to grow it and bring it to you. But in the meantime, get to Alanya. You know, Alanya, Turkey in 2020 and 2021 is where you can put your flag in the ground and declare who you are and where you stand. So, you know, one last time, I want to congratulate Pavia Lokrians for being the very first champion. This honor is something that no one's ever going to be able to take away from you. You know, being first is being first, but now realize that you have a target on your back, and teams that are listening to this and teams that are on here, they all know that they can beat you. They all believe they can beat you. And so be prepared. Thank you for joining us. It was my honor to be able to work with such amazing people and stars from both the present and future of their clubs and national teams. And, you know, take care. Be safe in this time of COVID-19. Stay healthy, and hopefully we'll all see you on the beach real soon. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, and have a great afternoon. Ciao.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.